In here, please turn off your cell phones, and we'll start with a comment from Coach Plaisance and then questions for the student athletes. And when we'll get to that question and answer period, raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you, and please identify yourself and your affiliation. Coach.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Southland Conference for yet another excellent tournament. A lot of new things, some upgrades, if you will, and I think it made it very exciting for the student-athlete experience. Probably should have prefaced with this first. As always, I want to give all the glory to God. It was a great game out there. Royce and his team did an excellent job. It was a tough game out there. I think both teams played very tough, and I'm very excited about first of all, how these kids, our players, they didn't quit. There's a lot that has led up to this game, and in terms of the body of work this program has done for so many years. And that body of work, I wouldn't trade for anything. I have some of the most incredible kids. We've had greats go on before. We have some greats sitting at this table, and they leave a great culture behind. Then they carry a torch. And we didn't lose today. We have a whole lot of lessons. We didn't lose. And I am in a place with these kids that no matter what, we're always going to be in that number. Don't have to count the colonels out. And again, it was a tough one today, and there's certainly some things that we could have done better, but I feel like we played hard. We didn't quit, and I truly believe we represented the body of work that this program has done over a number of years, and I couldn't be any prouder of a team. And I do, let me repeat, congratulations to Royce Chagwood and his team. They played very, very hard, and I wish them the best.
Okay, we'll start off with questions from Brandon.
Brandon Williams, Southland Conference. Question about you ladies. Did you expect basically I should say, did they do anything different defensively compared to what you saw in the first meeting?
No, I don't think so. I think they just played really hard, and they were a little bit tougher than us tonight. We gave it a good fight, though.
Cassidy?
Yeah, I just thought it was our offense. We just weren't hitting shots and executing like we normally do.
Okay.
Gamal Jones, Garage Apartment Media. Tough, this is for both Cassidy and Airi. Tough shooting night tonight. Being this was your first game of the tournament, was there any nerves that caused this, or was it just an off night from everybody?
I think it was just an off night. I mean, we were prepared like we normally am, so I just think it was not nerves, just we weren't hitting shots. That was it.
Same, yeah. I don't really think it was nerves because we were prepared. We've been here before. We know what to expect, so basically just an off-shooting knife.
And I know the question wasn't directed at me, but I have to say it wasn't an off-shooting night due to a lack of effort. They were out there. They were trying to execute. They were battling to execute. We were getting some good looks, and just let it be noted, it wasn't due to a lack of effort.
Okay. Bryant Johnson, ESPN Radio New Orleans. Coach Plaisance, you've got a young woman to the right of you that has won 39 games the last 2 years, conference MVP, all-time leading scorer in program history. You've won 20 games this year.
Let me interrupt you for a second. We're going with questions for the student athletes at this point, please. And we'll get to Coach in a moment. So just
Cassidy.
Just ask that question later. I got a great answer for it.
Cassidy,
I'm sure.
As you examine your career and your time here, you've been a part of a transformational period. What does your time here mean for the future of Nicholls basketball?
I just know that the girls on the team are definitely going to, finish what we started this year, next year. So I hope that they all just, continue to work hard and, believe in themselves, and they'll make it again.
This question is Dara Jones, Garage Department Media. This is for both players. Your coach mentioned that you guys didn't lose, but y'all learned a lot of lessons. So what is a lesson or the biggest lesson you take from this game and this year?
Can never take a team for granted, for sure. Not that we did take them for granted. You just never know who's going to show up. It's always a tougher team that wins, and, they had us today. But, you just have to show up to play every game.
Definitely going off of what she said. I don't think we took them for granted, but at the end of the day, like I said, they were the tougher team. And we threw punches. They threw punches too, but at the end of the day, they ended up with the win.
Okay, any more questions for the student athletes? Okay. Ladies, thank you. You can take your name cards, please, too. Don't think you're finished. Now, let's get a mic to Bryant here and get the... Okay.
I'll take the answer.
I have stated so many times that the day Cassidy Barrios said yes to Nicholls, it was a great day for the entire community. I've said this so many times, but I've heard from some great coaches repeating is good. What she does is amazing, but how she does it is beyond amazing. She's a class act. When I tell you, not a second of off-court, on-court issues. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Doesn't miss practice, hasn't been late for practice, hasn't been late for the bus. Been student athlete of the year, been getting it done. As a coach, it's players like that that empower you, that just make you want to take everything, use everything you have when you get a special player like that to take everything around you to the next level. And when she was an underclassman, she was a great underclassman. The greats that have gone before her, she did not let those legacies die. And now that she's leaving a legacy, that's going to be our job. That Cassidy Barrios and the greats that have gone before her never fade in this program. We've had some very special players, and Cassidy is the best of the best. And she is one that she empowers everyone around us. And her humility, may God's graces be with her forever, because her humility and how she doesn't want to take any of the credit, she deflects it. And I'm sure you heard it in her comments. I mean, she was directing that at herself. That's, almost went nuts. But, I mean, so with a player like Cassidy Barrios, an institution, it's not just about our women's basketball program. Nicholls State, Thibodaux, and that entire region, we are better off having experienced Cassidy Barrios for the last 4 years. And we will not let her ever fade. Thank you.
Kamal.
Coach, with a great regular season and this disappointing win, what will you take away from this win to move forward into next season for the next class and the recruits coming in?
Well, there's a lot of takeaways. Yes, we hope this isn't the last game of this season. We hope you haven't seen the last of Cassidy Barrios, but we don't know. But with that being said, in terms of the question, regardless, there's going to be a next year. And we had a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing tonight. Airi and Ty are the only other two upperclassmen. And, I feel very confident in this program that we're going to be able to continue the tradition. And I think it's very, very important. My son is blessed to be playing for a great coach, and Coach Mark Schlesinger. And I was in here for his comments last night, and I've often thought it, but the way he phrased it, it's perfect. You know, players graduate, but culture doesn't. And that is point on in terms of describing what we have going on in the Nicholls women's basketball program in Thibodaux. We have a tremendous culture. I mean, we fight the good fight. Things don't always go the right way, but we play hard, we play smart, and we always give the glory to God, no matter what happens. And when you do that, and when you fight the good fight, you can always live to fight another day. And we're not going away. I mean, I can tell you that. And not only do we come back, you know, pretty fiercely. And I thank you for phrasing it that way. What am I going to take away from this win? Because in these wins there were lessons. And you know, I don't like losing, and I don't believe in losing. I mean, losing is when you give up. Losing is when you know, didn't even try. Our kids tried tonight. You know, our kids did not give up. And again, it's the culture that will live and will continue to live. And we'll expect nothing less. I mean, every day we're going to wake up and we're going to fight the good fight. You know, I've been sharing with the kids that, you know, in terms of sacrifice, and there's a lot of sacrifice. There's a whole lot of sacrifice. And in life, what you have to do is you have to look at what you have. And if you look at what you have, you're fine, because God doesn't leave any of us alone. And I've been telling them in terms of sacrifice, if you do not sacrifice for what you want, what you're doing is you will sacrifice, in fact, exactly what you want. It's all in the sacrifice. It's all in the service. And that, my friend, will forever live on in our program.
Okay, I have time for one more question.
That was beautiful. I almost don't want to. But in terms of the game, Coach, they outscored you in the paint. They scored 23 points off of turnovers, second chance points, fast break points, and even the bench. Why do you think? What were they able to do that your team wasn't able to match their physicality?
Well, again, respectfully, I think we were fighting in there. I just, you know, I think Airi said it well. They'd throw a punch, we'd throw a punch. They maybe threw two more punches. I mean, I don't think we didn't answer to the physicality of the game. Three stats that drive me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and it's points off turnovers, points in the paint, and then free throws. And because I feel like you rebound the basketball, you own possessions, you win the game. You don't turn the ball over, you're not giving up possessions, you win the game. You get to the free throw line, you hit free. That's how easy this game is. Those three stats. And I just feel like we had opportunities in the first half to get to the free throw line, and we didn't, you know, convert at the free throw line like we normally do. And again, in the paint, in those paint touches, I mean, there were many possessions where we're there, we have it, we're there, we have it. Oh no, they have it, we have it. Next thing you know, boom. So I don't know if with all due respect, I don't think it was that we didn't match their physicality. I just think it was a physical game. And we've always been the smaller team, but we've never let our size or the size of our opponents intimidate us in any ways. And I just, you know, their length, I think, affected us at some points, you know, that you know, and they were playing hard, so that little extra effort with that little bit more of a length sort of, you know, deflected our shots and turned it over. But I was fully aware of those three stats, and I can assure you those are, and assist to turnover ratio, I mean, I really, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, OCD on it, assist to turnover ratio, and it wasn't that we were not sharing the basketball, it's just we wasn't converting.
Coach, thank you.
You done with me?
Keep playing.
I'm going to keep playing.
I know you will.
Thank you, guys.